Good Tuesday morning to everybody. Hope you are doing well here on this January the 20th. It's hard to believe January is almost over, but it is. How fast time can fly when you're having fun, so to speak. We have our second game of June the 9th, which is Milwaukee and Detroit from Tiger Stadium. It's game number 387 overall in the replay. Tiger Stadium, very friendly for home runs, not so much for singles. Singles 1 to 2 in one period, lefties and righties. Home runs 1 to 14 left and 1 to 11 righty. A nice pitching matchup, at least on paper. It is Teddy Higuera against Jack Morris. Tigers and the Brewers. And Morris comes in 7-4. Higuera comes in 5-4. Milwaukee, first place in the East, 35-17. The Tigers 4.5 games back at 31-22. So very important series for the Detroit Tigers, no question about it. Wild pitch rating on Morris. He has a high wild pitch rating. He's got a wild pitch rating of 18. Not sure why. I guess he had a lot of wild pitches. He had 18 and his balk is a 2, whereas Higuera is only a 3 and a 3 each side. Morris is a +2 hold, but Heath's a -2 for a net 0. Higuera is a -1 hold, and Zerhoff is a 0, so he's a -1. Both catchers have pass ball ratings of 5. All right, so Jack Morris, going to see if he can't get the Tigers off to a winning start here. They were off yesterday. Everybody had a day of rest. This is the one series that did not occur on the 8th. So hopefully they're all fresh and ready to go. Hello, Action. Good to see you. Good morning to you. Let's get Strat Computer pulled up right here so I can get all the pertinent numbers for you for Mr. Morris. On the let's look at his real season. He was 18-11 with a 3.38 ERA. On the replay, he's 7-4 with a 3.29 earned run average. So not too far off from where he's supposed to be, I imagine. Brewers will have Juan Castillo leading off for them. The Tigers kind of went with their Sparky's going with the platoon thing. So you got Madlock playing first base, which he normally doesn't do. He normally plays third or DH, but he's at first base for the left-handed hitting Darrell Evans. Herninger DH is a right-hander. Lemons in center field as a right-hander. Harper is in right field as a right-hander. And Heath is a catcher as a right-hander. So the only 2 lefties in the lineup are 2 of the top 3, Whitaker and Gibson. Everybody else, he's playing the platoon advantage. Brewers kind of status quo lineup for them against the righty Castillo. Hello, Tribe fan. 24 wild pitches will do it, I guess. How about that? Wow, I didn't realize he had so many wild pitches. And you would think a good catcher like Heath, but I guess maybe pitching to Noakes a lot might have cost him too. But I thought Heath would have prevented some of those. But hey, sometimes you just can't prevent them. They're just in the dirt or whatever. And you just can't get around it. Castillo on the replay is hitting 213. No homers 10 driven in. He hit 224 real world. Hello, Dr. D. And of course, before the first pitch, we have the ceremonial first sip. And I'm going to need lots of coffee this weekend. We're supposed to get 8 to 10 inches of snow this weekend. And if I saw the reports right, I believe on either Sunday or Monday. It might be Monday. Sunday? One of the two. The high temperature is supposed to be 20 degrees. Low temperature 7. And this is the South. We're not supposed to be getting this. But it's going to be a one cold blast for the whole week. Now, this week coming up that we're in right now is pretty normal. We're in the 40s, maybe even low 50s by the end, by Thursday. And when the weekend gets here, it's going to be almost like Armageddon. The grocery stores are going to be packed on Friday, I'm sure. People stocking up. All right, here's Castillo. 5-6, left, a switch hitter batting left. That's a ground ball to shortstop X. So we're looking at Trammell. But Trammell's a 1, so we know he's going to get to it. And he is an where is he at here? E21. The only thing we're looking at is E21, 615 and 17. And that's a 13, so nothing there. So good play for Alan Trammell. He makes the play, one away. One down, and that brings up Robin Yount, center fielder. Yount on the replay hitting 319, 12 homers, 45 driven in. He hit 312 real world. 6-3, and that's a ground ball. Pitcher X. Morris is an E0, so he cannot make an error. The computer tells me it's a range of 3. So the only way he can not get to this on a 3, 1, 2, or 3 are hits. Anything higher than 3, he makes the play. And he does. So Jack Morris will make the play, and I'm not even worried about a rare play because the bases are empty. And when the bases are empty, there are no rare plays. So an easy ground out. So if you want me to roll it, just make sure I don't roll a 5, that's fine too. So anyway, here's Cecil Cooper, designated hitter. Cecil Cooper hitting 221 on the replay, 6 homers, 18 driven in. He hit 248 real world. 2-5 for Cooper is a ground ball to first. Taken by Madlock, who's playing first base in this game, to the bag himself. And there's the bottom of the first, or the top of the first, in order. 1, 2, 3 for Jack Morris. Brings up left-hander Teddy Higuera. And Higuera on the real season, 18 and 10, 3.85 ERA. On the replay, is 5 and 4 with a 3.77 ERA. So pretty much in line with where he should be, you would think. Lou Whitaker is your batter to lead off for the Tigers. He has got the power stroke going. He only had 16 home runs in the regular season in 600 at-bats. In this replay, in 210 at-bats, he's already got 13 home runs. So he's one of several people where the home runs are exceeding his pace. But, of course, that could always change and it could even out later on. But that's just the way it is right now. Right now, he's hitting 286, 13 homers, 41 driven in, and he hit 265 real world. Lefty, 5-2. That's a ground ball back to Higuera. And there's one away. For Bill Madlock, who is playing first base today, he could play third base or first base or DH. Doesn't do either one of these well. 4 E18 is not very good at first base. So if they get the lead late, I'm sure we'll bring in Bergman or somebody to play first base. Madlock on the replay, just a recent acquisition. So he's only had 20 at-bats, so he's hitting 300 with a homer and 1 run driven in. He hit 279 real world. 2-8, and that is a 1 to 10 double. 11 to 20 is a single. That's a 9, so it's a solid double for Bill Madlock. And that's why the Tigers got him. And here's Kirk Gibson, left fielder. Gibson on the replay, one of the best in the replay so far. He's hitting 389 on the replay and 126 at-bats. 8 homers, 30 driven in. He had 277 real world. Another lefty-lefty matchup. 6-9, and that is a ground ball second base C. That'll get the runner Madlock over to third, but now there are 2 outs. And it's going to all be up. Going to all be up to Mr. Trammell. Speaking of hot hitters, Alan Trammell is hitting 424 on the replay. He is leading the league in 172 at-bats. I believe he has enough at-bats now to qualify. So 172 at-bats. He's hitting 424, 14 homers, 45 driven in. He hit 343 real world. So he's still hitting about 90 points higher than he did in real world. Trammell. 310 for Trammell. That's a split chance. 1 to 16. That's a 9. That's a base hit. And that will score the run. It's only 1 star, but with Madlock already on third, that's good enough. RBI single for Trammell. RBI number 46 on the season for him. And the Tigers take a 1-0 lead. And now Trammell, looking to get a lead, needs a 5 to get that lead. Does not get it. He will hold. And that brings up Larry Herndon, the designated hitter. 79% of his at-bats came against lefties, so he definitely in a platoon situation at DH or left field. Herndon on the replay hitting 304. 4 homers, 13 driven in 79 at bats. See at 324. Real world. Oh, we already did Trammell's thing, so we can't do that. Or don't need that, I should say. 4-6. That's a walk. So the inning continues. A walk issued to Larry Herndon. That's going to bring up the one guy that's really struggling. Not Joe Carter-esque, but close to it, and that is Chet Lemon. Lemon hitting only 213 on the replay. 2 homers, 11 driven in. He hit 277 real world. Clutch situation, and that's a 2, so we're looking for balk or pass ball. Looking at a pass ball rate on Surhoff, which is a 5. And it is a pass ball. That one put the runners to second and third. Now a base hit could score 2 more runs. Pass ball on Surhoff. Lemon in the clutch. Let's see here. In the clutch, he is rated completely neutral in the clutch against left-handers. That's a 1. Possible wild pitch on Higuera, which is a 3. 12, no wild pitch. So here comes Lemon. 6-7, and that's a strikeout for Higuera to end the inning. So he limits the damage to 1 run by striking out Lemon, and Lemon's struggles continue. We go to the second inning. It is 1-0 favor of the Tigers. Jack Morris comes out with that 1-0 lead. He'll be facing Deere, Brock, and Braggs. Due up. Deere, Brock, and Braggs. Rob Deere on the replay hitting 243, 6 homers, 31 driven in. He hit 238 in the real season. Whoa, we got hop and dice. We're going to re-roll this. 3-3, and that's going to be a strikeout. First strikeout from Morris. 1 away for Greg Brock. Brock hitting 319 on the replay, 6 homers, 31 driven in. He hit 299 the real season. 5-9. That's another strikeout for Morris. 2 strikeouts in a row. And here comes Glenn Braggs, right fielder. Braggs hitting 279, 6 homers, 30 driven in. He hit 269 real world. 4-7, and that's a ground ball shortstop X. Trammell's a 1. We know he's going to get to it. It's just an E21. The only errors on E21 are 6, 15, and 17. And that's a good play for Trammell. Another 3 up, 3 down for Jack Morris. Takes care of business. We go to the bottom of the second. Bottom of the second. Higuera will face Heath, Harper, and Brookins, bottom of the order. Mike Heath hitting 274 on the replay, 3 homers, 16 driven in. He hit 281 real world. 3-3, and he's hit by the pitch. So Higuera plunks him. And Heath will stroll down to first. He will not be held. He's not much of a stealer, base stealer. Here's Terry Harper. Limited duty for Harper. He is hitting higher than he did in real world, though. Real world, he was only 203 and 64 at bats. On the replay, in 58 at bats, he's hitting 259, 3 homers, 12 driven in. And he had 3 homers, 10 driven in real world. So everything else is pretty much on par. He's just hitting a little bit above his average. But that could, go down here. That's a 2. That could dwindle in his last few at bats. We're looking at a pass ball on Surhoff again. No pass ball this time. Surhoff is up to the task. 5-4. And as an in-home run chance, 1-7, but that's an 18. It'll still be a double. A double, and Heath, with nobody out, he'll stop at third base. So second and third as Harper comes through again. And here's Tom Brookins. And the Brewer infield is going to play in. They're already down 1-0 against a tough Jack Morris. They got to choke those runs off. So the infield is in, even with nobody out, which I don't usually do, but I think in this case you have to. So Brookins on the replay, 265, 3 homers, 17 driven in. He at 241 real season. Boy, this double die is coming up 1 and 2 all the time. Now we're checking for the balk rating of Higuera, which is a 3. And there's no balk. So here's Brookins. Infield is in. 7 for Brookins, and that's a line out a single 1-5, line out 6-20. That is a line out. So he lines it out to Swain at short, 1 away. And that'll flip the order over to Lou Whitaker. Infield course remains in. Whitaker grounded back to Higuera his first time up. Lefty-lefty matchup. 2-4, and that's trouble for Higuera. Either way, both runs are going to score. 1-16 is a double. That's exactly what we have. A 2-run double off the bat of Lou Whitaker, and the Tigers lead it 3-0 as they're looking to make up ground on those Brewers. A win today, they'd only be 3.5 games out of the lead. And they were buried early in the season, but they've made it all the way back just about and gotten into that fray with the Yankees, Blue Jays, and the Brewers. So here's Bill Madlock. Madlock doubled his first time up. Tigers have 3 doubles already. 1-6 for Madlock. 1-3 is a single, but that's going to be a line out to short again for Swain. 2 down. And that will send up Kirk Gibson. Clutch situation for Gibson. In the clutch, he loses hit 3-2. Everywhere else, he's okay. He's normal. Higuera trying to minimize the damage that's already been done. 1-7. He will. That's a fly out to right field to end the inning. But 2 more runs come in. A 2-run double off the bat of Lou Whitaker. And the Tigers lead it 3-0 as we go to the 3rd inning here at Tiger Stadium. Jack Morris appreciating the run support. Here is B.J. Surhoff. Surhoff on the replay, hitting .327, 6 homers, 21 driven inning at .299 real world. 2-3, and that's a pop out to third base. That's going to be Brookins. 1 away. Brings up Jim Gantner, second baseman. Gantner hitting .276 on the replay. No homers, 11 driven inning at .272 real world. 6-12. Ground ball first base C. Madlock will get it and flip to Morris covering. Quickly 2 away for Dale Swain, the shortstop. Switch hitter. Hitting .327 on the replay. 10 homers, 31 driven inning at .252 real world. 5-6, and that's going to be a ground ball shortstop X. Once again, we're going to Trammell. Once again, he's a 1, so we don't need to check that. We're just making sure he doesn't roll a 6, 15, or 17. And he did not, so Trammell makes the play, and it's 9 up and 9 down for Jack Morris to start the ball game, while his Tigers get him some runs. Look at the bottom of the 3rd, still 3-0. Higuera back out trying to right the ship, so to speak, and he's got a tough guy to do it with Alan Trammell. With that hit, he just got his first time up. He's now hitting .428. 5-6, and 1-12 was a double, and he's going to increase that average even more. Yet another double for the Tigers. That's their 4th double of the game. They're getting all the splits that they need. Whenever there's a split, it seems to come up positive. Here's Larry Herndon. DH, he walked his first time up. Brewers were counting on Higuera for some innings. 4-8, that's a strikeout. That helps. That's the 2nd strikeout of the game. This takes care of Herndon. That'll bring up the struggling Chet Lemon. 1-8 for Lemon, and he's going to hit a ground ball to short. That's 2 away as Swain takes care of it. Continues to struggle. And here's Mike Heath in the clutch situation for Heath. And in the clutch, he loses a couple of hits, 1 on 3-8 and 1 on 3-10, and also on 2-8. So he loses 3 hits in the clutch. Does Mr. Heath. 2-5, and he found a ground ball to short. It was non-clutch, but it doesn't matter. And that will end the inning. Higuera finally pitches a 0 inning there. Keeps the score at 3-0 after 3 complete from Tiger Stadium. Morris back out will face the top of the order again. In fact, the Brewers have not even put the ball out of the infield yet. There have been 6 ground outs, 2 strikeouts, and a pop out through the first time of the order. So Castillo going to see if the second time is better. 5-10. Ballpark single check. That's not going to work. That's only a 2, and that's a 9. So that will be a fly to center. 1 away. At least it got the ball to the infield. Here's Robin Yount. Grounded back to the mound his first time. 1-9 for Yount. Struck him out. That's the 3rd strikeout for Morris. Seems to be on his A game today. Trying to improve to 8-4. Here's Cooper. 1-7 for Cooper. Struck him out. Strikeout number 4. Morris on a leisurely stroll through the Brewer lineup, it looks like. While Higuera has been struggling pretty much every inning. Here's Terry Harper. Harper doubled his first time up and scored. 5-7, and that's a ground ball shortstop X. We're looking at Swain. He's a 3E25. 3-13, he'll get to it. E25, and that is a 5. Rare play, but nobody's on base. And when there's nobody on base, you don't usually get much of a rare play. Let's see here. 3-13 is a G2. And I think on my rare plays, pretty much all of my rare plays, you have to have somebody on base. Yeah, it starts out if runner on first. Well, there's no runner on first to worry about. So it's just going to be a ground out to the shortstop. Swain for 1 away. Brings up Tom Brookins. Brookins lined out to short his first time up. 2-10 against the lefty. That's another double. Boy, 5th double for the Tigers already. And we're just in the 4th inning. Another solid double for Tom Brookins. Tigers are doubling their pleasure. Brings up Lou Whitaker. Speaking of doubles, he had a 2-run double his last time up. .63, and that's a ground ball right back to Higuera. He's an E11. He's a 3E11. 3-15, he'll get to it. 3-15 is a G2. That's a 13, and he's an E11. There is no 13 there. So it's good play, and Brookins will have to hold. The ball hit right back to the mound. So 2 down. Clutch situation now for Madlock. He's 1 for 2 with a double. In the clutch for Madlock, he gains a hit on 1-9 and on 2-12 and on 2-3. So gains 3 hits. 5-10, catcher X. That is Surhoff, and he's a 3E5. Ooh, 3-3 could be problems. And there is a runner on base. So 3-3, looks like it's going to be a wild pitch. 10, I don't think there's any problem with that. He's an E5. There is no 10, but a W/G is a wild pitch. So wild pitch by Higuera will send Brookins to third base with 2 outs. If he gets Madlock, the wild pitch will be irrelevant, but he's got to get Madlock. 1-10, and that's a ballpark blast that may not be irrelevant any longer, but 1-15, 1-11 for home runs, and that's a 15, so he just missed it. Deep fly to left, and Higuera escapes the damage that could have been inflicted with a 2-run homer. But as it turns out, just a deep fly to left, and we go to the top of the 5th. It'll be Mr. Morris taking on Deere, Brock, and Braggs for the Brewers. Deere struck out his first time up. Brewers trying to get something started against Morris. 4-9 for Morris. That's a fly ball to right field, hauled in by Harper. One away. Take us to Greg Brock, first baseman. 3-9 for Brock, and there's your single. That takes away the perfect game, the no-hitter, and everything else. Solid single for Greg Brock. He's not going anywhere. Here's Glenn Braggs. 2-9, and that is a ground ball third base A, and just as quickly as the runner got there, it gets erased. 5-4-3 around the horn double play. It's not tailor-made, but they'll take it. And that means Morris will still face the minimum through 5 innings. 5-4-3 around the horn. Brookins to Whitaker to Madlock. Not exactly Tinkers to Evers a chance, but they'll take it. We go to the bottom of the fifth, still 3-0 favor of the Tigers. Gibson now will come out. And here is Mr. Gibby. He's 0 for 2. Oh, that one die that got stuck up in there. So let's redo this. 6-7, and that is a ground ball shortstop X. Swain, 3E25. 3-1. That's going to get through for a base hit. E25, and that's an 11. I don't think that's an error. It is not. So it's base hit for Gibson. It seems like the Tigers have had a runner on base every inning. So, and most of the time it's been with nobody out. Only once, twice it was 1 out, but every other time the leadoff batter has gotten on. So, single for Gibby. See if he's interested in trying to get a lead. Gibby 5 or a 6, so why not try it? Doesn't get the lead, so he'll hold. Here's Alan Trammell. He's up to 431 now since he's gone 2 for 2. 6-5. He's going to strike out this time. That'll hurt the old average there. Only the second strikeout for Higuera in the game. 1 away, and that takes us to Larry Herndon. He has walked and struck out. 6-9, and that's a ground ball second base C. That'll get the runner Gibby to second base, but now there are 2 outs. So it's going to bring up a clutch situation for Chet Lemon. And those words just don't go together this year in this replay. Clutch and Lemon. On his card, he's not even rated for clutch. He's completely neutral. 5-7, and that's a ground ball shortstop X again. Once again, Swain, 3E25. Has to try to get to it. 3-16 he does. That's a 12. We'll make sure that's no error there on an E25. There's not. There's a 13, but no 12. So he'll make the play, will Mr. Swain. And that'll keep the Tigers at bay. Through 5 innings, it's 3-0 Detroit. Morris has a fatigue of 8. Higuera has a fatigue of 7. So you could actually see a double complete game if they're both effective the rest of the way. Fatigue should not become that much of an issue. All right, B.J. Surhoff, Jim Gantner, and Dale Swain, bottom third of the order. Is due up. Surhoff. 110 for Surhoff is a fly to center. Chet Lemon's got it. 1 away. And that's going to bring up Jimmy Gantner. 6-9 Gantner, and that's an in-home run chance. Ballpark blast. It's a 1-14. That's a 6, and he's got normal power. So Jimmy Gantner breaks up the shutout. A solo home run from an unlikely source, Jimmy Gantner. And for Gantner, that's his first home run of the replay. He only had 4 all year long. but he gets one here. Look at it again, 6-9. Morris against the lefty on a 6-9 is a diamond shot. Tiger Stadium 1-14. That's a 6, and he's got normal power. So Jimmy Gantner hits his first home run of the replay. He hit 4, as I said, real world total. So here's Dale Swain. All of a sudden, Brewers feeling a little bit better now. They cut it to 3-1. And here's Swain. 3-6 for Swain, and that's going to be a 1-2 double. 3-20 is a single. That's a base hit for Swain. Swain will not be held, but the tying run now comes to the plate in Juan Castillo. 1 out, runner at first. Castillo, 2-7, struck him out. Strikeout number 5 for Mr. Morris. 2 down, and Robin Yount, the batter. 4-3, and that's a fly ball left field X. Left fielder is Gibson. He's a 3-10. 3 and a 7 should be okay. Barely. 3 and a 7, barely F1, but there's 2 outs, so it doesn't matter. That's a 7, and he's an E10. There is no 7. So good play for Gibson, and that's going to end the inning. But the home run from Gantner breaks up the shutout. We go to the bottom of the 6th. It's 3-1 Tigers. Now Higuera will try to keep it that way. He's going to be facing Heath, Harper, and Brookins, bottom of the order. Heath has been hit by a pitch and he's grounded to short. 6-9, and that's a ground ball to second. Easy play for Mr. Castillo. 1 away. I realize I've got both these guys playing second base on my score sheet, so let me... Gantner's actually a third baseman in this game, not a second baseman. And that makes him a 3E12. Just notice that. 3E12 at second base. Okay. Fortunately, we haven't had any second base X's yet to worry about, but just in case we do, now it's fixed. All right, so Heath grounds to second. And that's going to send up Terry Harper. 6-9, that's another same roll. Ground ball, second base, C. 2 up, 2 down. Higuera seems to have righted the ship. And here's Tom Brookins. Brookins doubled his last time up. 6-5. He's going to strike out this time for Higuera. Only strikeout number 3. But he's now retired 6 in a row. At the end of 6, it is 3-1 Tigers. And I will need to take a 7th inning stretch break because my coffee has gotten pretty cold. Or not cold, but lukewarm, as they say. So Brookins out on strikes. We go to the top of the 7th. And it'll be Cooper, Deere, and Brock due up. Cooper, 1-5, and that's going to be a ground ball to first, and that's 1 away. 1 away. And that will send up Rob Deere. Morris to Deere, 2-7. 1-16 is a single. That's an 8. Base hit for Rob Deere. Now the split's starting to go the Brewers' way. Deere actually has a chance to get a lead. He needs a 7 to do so. Can't get the lead. He'll hold. And here's Greg Brock. Brock, 1 for 2 with a single. 2-10, and that's going to be a not going to be a tailor-made double play, but it will be a 3-6-3 double play turned by Madlock and Trammell back to Madlock. Second double play of the game for the Tigers. Came at a very nice time for them. Gets Morris out of the inning. And we move on now to the bottom of the 7th. 7th inning stretch time. And I will be taking that stretch because my coffee is definitely lukewarm at best. And I can't go through without can't finish the game with cold coffee. So we will be moving on to the 7th inning stretch, which means take me out to the ball game. So let's get this lined up and ready to go. It's been a while since I've done this, so I've got to go back and find that particular section. Here we go. Finally got it there. All right, so I'm going to go warm my coffee up. About a minute and a half. Hit the mute button there by mistake. About a minute and a half, I'll be back. And right now, we'll do take me out to the ball game with the score: Tigers 3, Brewers 1. That's assuming the thing will play. Try it again. Reboot. Try again. Let's see if I can find it elsewhere. For some reason it's not doing what I want it to do. Don't like technical difficulties. May have to find something else on the fly, because this one doesn't want to add up. Let's see what we got. And I have no idea what it's going to be otherwise. We'll try this one. See how it does. If it plays, that's a whole nother issue. For some reason my phone is not getting good reception. I don't know why. Come on. Boy, I may just have to bypass this because we're getting technical difficulties left and right. I may just have to bypass the whole thing. Yeah, unfortunately, it doesn't look like it's working very well. I don't know what the problem is on my phone. My phone is not getting good reception for whatever. I don't know why. Yeah, it's just really... All right, we'll just have to do without it. Don't usually like dead air, but I don't have much choice. I've got to go heat my coffee. I don't have any example or any way around it not heating the coffee. So I'll be right back as fast as I can get downstairs, microwave it, and come back. All right, we're back. Coffee is warm, and we are ready to go. As soon as I get back to where I need to be. I'll tell you what, my phone is not doing what it's supposed to be doing, that's for sure. Says I'm hooked up to my Wi-Fi, so I don't know why it's not. I'm getting circles in the sand on my phone, but the computer seems to be doing all right. But my phone is not picking up reception for whatever reason, so just have to move on without the phone, I guess. All right, we'll drive on. Bottom of the 7th we go. Higuera will be facing Whitaker, Madlock, and Gibson. Whitaker, 1 for 3 with a 2-run double. 1-6 for Whitaker, ground ball to third, 1 away. Here is Bill Madlock. 1-6, and that's a 1-3 single. That's a 9, so he's going to line it to Swain, 2 down. 2 down, and here comes Kirk Gibson. 1 for 3 also. 1-6, going to strike him out. So, boy, Higuera has really turned the page and got himself back to where he needs to be, but he's still in the short end of a 3-1 ball game. But he's definitely kept his team in the game. It looked like early on they might be going to the bullpen, but so far so good for them. They've kept where they need to be. And now we're going to the top of the 8th. This will be the fatigue inning for Jack Morris. And Braggs is 0 for 2. 4-8 for Braggs. 4-8 for Morris, rather, is a strikeout. Strikeout number 6 for Morris. So I'm assuming the stream is going okay because I don't see any problems with that. But, boy, my phone just doesn't want to cooperate. One away. And here is BJ. I probably have to restart it or something. I don't know. I guess that's what I'm going to have to do. Probably should do that now. Get it out of the way. Maybe the restart will kick in the Wi-Fi to do what it's supposed to do. Here's Surhoff. He's 0 for 2. 5-8 left-handed is another strikeout. There's a dot there, but he has not reached fatigue yet, so the strikeout is good. Strikeout number 7 for Jack Morris. Brings up Gantner. He homered his first time up in his 172nd at bat. He hits a home run. Real world, he had 4 home runs and 265 at bats. So he was way behind on his home run ratio. Maybe he's trying to make it up now. I don't know. 3-5 for Gantner. He's not going to do it here. That's a ground ball to Madlock, and that will take care of it. So we go to the bottom of the 8th. Score still 3-1. And Higuera will be facing Trammell, Herndon, and Lemon. Let's see if this phone with the restart helps any. Hoping it does, so I can at least see what's going on here. Let's find out. Okay, now I'm finally back in business. Finally back in business. Looks like everything is, well, I'm a little bit. We'll probably have to move this stuff over here because it looks like the cards are going off the edge. So don't want that. All right, so here's Trammell. Trammell will lead it off. He is 2 for 3 against Mr. Higuera. 2-2, and he's hit by the pitch. So Higuera hits Trammell. They already hit Heath once, so it's not a retaliation thing. It's just a second hit by pitch by Higuera. Don't know if we're going to chalk that up to wildness, or I don't think there's any intent behind that. Higuera. Trammell, to get the lead, needs a 5. Doesn't get it. He'll hold for Larry Herndon. Herndon is is 0 for 2 with a walk. Four, 6, and that's another walk. So now Higuera all of a sudden having control issues. For Higuera, that's his second walk, and he's also hit 2 batters. So now the Brewer bullpen is loosening. They do have a right-hander down there, Mark Clear, that they may be bringing in very shortly. Higuera went perfect in his fatigue inning, but now he's struggling here in this inning. Here's Chet Lemon, speaking of struggling. He's 0 for 3 with a strikeout. Let's see if Higuera can get right off of Lemon. 4-8, and he does. He struck him out. There's a dot there, but he's not tired. So, again, Mr. Lemon strikes out. Brings up Mike Heath. Heath was hit by a pitch, but he's 0 for 2. Double play would get him out of the inning. Mark Clear still on standby, ready to come in, but they're going to stick with Higuera for now. 6-7, and he struck him out. So Higuera trying to get one last boost of energy. Gets the strikeout there. 2 down for Terry Harper in the clutch against lefties. He faced lefties. 95% of his at-bats were against lefties. Ultimate in platoon. Anti-clutch or positive clutch ratings here on 3.2 and 3.7. He'll gain extra hits. 2-8, though, is going to be another walk issued by Higuera. That's going to load the bases. That is walk number 3, and the bases are now loaded. And man, what do you do here? I think they're going to go to the bullpen. They're going to go to Mark Clear. They need a fresh arm in there. Mark Clear will be coming on. Higuera is trying for the complete game, but with the righty Brookins coming up, they're going to go to Mr. Clear. And you're not going to pinch hit for Brookins because he's the best defensive third baseman you have, and you're protecting the lead. So they're not going to do that. +1 hold, but I don't think that matters right now. Higuera is going to go 7 2/3. He's going to give up 7 hits, 3 runs, but he's responsible for all 3 of these runs. Struck out 6, walked 3. We'll see what happens the rest of the way. But Mark Clear is on, and he'll face Brookins. Brookins 1 for 3 with a double. Clutch situation for Brookins, and he loses a couple of hits here. 2-9, 2-10, and that's it. 2-9, 2-10. Let's get the numbers on Clear before I start. Clear 8-5 with a 4.48 ERA real world with 6 saves, but he's been tearing it up on the replay. He is 2-2 with a 1.26 ERA and 2 saves. So he's dropped his ERA a good 3 points in the replay, and he's pitched 29 innings, so his sample size is getting up there. But he's got a tough out to make here. Bases loaded, 2 outs for Tom Brookins. 3-7 for Brookins, and he struck him out. So talk about coming in and getting the job done. Mark Clear did it. Keeps the score at 3-1 as we go to the top of the 9th. Tigers will make a defensive move. They will bring in Bergman to play first base in place of Madlock for that better defense. Bergman will now be a 2E12 versus a 4E18. So Bergman will be your defender at first base. I think that's the only glaring defensive weakness that the Tigers have. Harper's got a high error rate, but a good range, so I hate to lose that range. I guess you could bring in Sheridan. Let's see what Sheridan is. He's a 2E9. They're going to bring in Sheridan to play right field. They don't like that E16 rating for Harper, so they're going to bring in Sheridan to play right field. Trying to cover all their bases defensively. So Morris is back out. Sheridan and Bergman are your new defensive replacements. So let's put them on the computer. Morris going for the complete game, obviously. Mike Henneman is loosening in the bullpen along with Willie Hernandez, just in case Morris should struggle. Sparky Anderson wants to keep his options open here. Oh, actually, they're saying Bergman is not on the roster. That's weird. He's not showing up on the active roster, so I can't use Bergman. Boy, who can I use at first base? Because Evans is no prize at first base either. Evans, 4E5. Well, at least he's better defensively. He's got an E5 versus an E18, so we'll put Evans at first base. I assumed that Bergman was on the roster, but the Strat computer's telling me he's not, so I don't know what's going on with that. If he's injured or whatever the case may be, but we're bringing Darrell Evans in to play first base. He's still a better option than Madlock. So it'll be Evans playing first base. All right. See if that gets everything. I think that kind of covers the defense. I think it does. I don't see any other defenders out there. Brookins is good. Whitaker's good. Trammell's good. Lemon's good. Heath's good. Gibson's okay. So we'll stick with that. So Jack Morris will be facing – I got to bring it over here because it's off the edge here. Jack Morris will be facing the bottom of the order, Swain. Swain is 1 for 2. So it'll be Swain, Castillo, and Yount. Look at the pinch hitters for Brew Crew. They may pinch hit for Castillo. Let's see, Castillo, 224. Yeah, they're definitely going to pinch hit for Castillo. So they got to figure out who they want to use for Castillo. Maybe Mike Felder. Looks like Mike Felder is going to pinch hit for Castillo. So we're going to have Felder come in the game to pinch hit for Castillo in the 9th. Castillo only hit 224 real world. Felder 266. And if it goes bottom of the 9th, then don't worry about defense. So Swain will lead it off against Jack Morris. Again, he is 1 for 2 with a single. 110 for Swain is a fly to right. That's 1 away. And now they'll bring in the pinch hitter, Mike Felder. Go to the computer, bring Felder in, get his replay numbers. Castillo 0 for 3 on the game with a strikeout, so he definitely, you would think, would need to be hit for. And they're going to use Mike Felder. Pinch hit Felder on the replay. Felder on the replay. Where are you, Felder? 266 in real world. On the replay, he's hitting 321, but only 28 at bat, so very small sample size. But he is a switch hitter. So, and Morris has got some issues down here on his left-hand column. But it's 210, and that'll be a single for Mike Felder. Base hit, Mike Felder brings the tying run to the plate. Felder actually has a chance to get a lead if they want to take the chance, but his run doesn't mean anything, so it'd be maybe rather foolish to try it. So I think they're going to hold him there. You would take away a double play chance, but you're also possibly taking away a run you need. So they're going to stick stick him at first base and not move him. He will be held. That's a 2, chance for balk or pass ball. So we got a wild pitch rating. I'm sorry, a balk rating on Morris, which is a 2. And there is no balk. So Morris to Yount. Morris to Yount, 1-8. 1-8 is a walk. Boy, Morris might not be able to finish this thing. We're over to Cecil Cooper, the designated hitter. They do have Willie Hernandez ready to go, but if you bring in Hernandez, they'll pinch hit for Cooper with a big right-handed hitter, their backup catcher, who's a really good hitter, Bill Schroeder. So you got to be careful about that. If you got to think a couple of moves ahead if possible. So Cooper and Deere follows. So you want to have Morris face Deere most likely. So Morris going to stay in there. against Cooper. Cooper is 0 for 3. For Cooper, yeah, he's 0 for 3. He hasn't done much. Do they pinch it for Cooper? I think they're going to stick with Cooper. Again, they want that left-handed bat against Morris. 3-9 for Cooper. That's a single to center field. Question is, do they score the run? Castillo's a 15. Not being held makes him a 16. Center field is limited. He's a -1 for a 15. But I think when you're down 2, I think you're just going to hold everybody where they are. The bases are now loaded for Rob Deere. And the question is, how long do you go with Jack Morris? You do have Mike Henneman ready in the bullpen. They want to go that way. Jack Morris has given him everything he could give him, but I think he's about ready to, and it says now on the computer that Jack Morris is tired, so that's going to make my decision that much easier. Jack Morris will be lifted, and they will bring in Mike Henneman. He was their closer. Morris is going to go 8 1/3. Sparky does not want to blow this game that they've been in control of the entire way. And they need to get to 3.5 back in the Brewers in the division. So they got to hold on and win this game. Let's see. Morris has 7 strikeouts, and it looks like just the 1 walk. I think Yount was his only walk of the game. Giving up 1 run, but he's responsible for all 3. So he could actually lose it as well as win it. But Henneman's not thinking about that right now. He's thinking about getting Rob Deere out. Deere is 1 for 3. Let's bring in Henneman and get his numbers off of the computer. Mike Henneman. On the real season, Mike Henneman, 11-3 with 7 saves and a 2.98 ERA. On the replay, 2-3 with a 3.71 ERA and 3 saves. So we'll see what he can do here against Rob Deere. Rob Deere again, 1 for 3. Infield back for the double play. They do lead by 2 runs, so they could afford 1 run, but not 2 to give up. So they're playing back for the double play. Perfect time right now for a Giovanni's Tailor Shop tailor-made double play or a strikeout. Deere's loaded with strikeouts on his card. 4-7 for Henneman. That's a 1-16 single, but that's a 17. It's a liner to short. So Henneman was living right on that one as he found the 17-20 that he needed on that 4-7. 17-20 is a line out, and he got the 17. So Henneman escapes that one. 2 down, and it's up to Greg Brock. And again, if you try to bring in Willie Hernandez to face Brock, they'll just go to Schroeder. So you might as well stick with who you got. Clutch situation now for Brock. He gains a hit on 1-2, and everywhere else he is neutral. So he's pretty much, the odds are on the 1-2 aren't very good, so might as well say he's neutral. But a base hit could tie this game. Yount with good speed at second would almost surely score. Unless he get a single 1 star, he's going to score. 4-6 for Brock, and that's going to be damage done right there. 1-13 is a double. That's a double 2 stars. That will tie the game. Greg Brock, a 2-run double with 2 outs in the 9th, have tied this game at 3 apiece. It's only 2 stars, so Cooper has to hold at third base. But now we are tied, and Jack Morris has been charged with those 3 runs. He cannot win it anymore. He can still lose it if this 4th run comes in. Glenn Braggs is your batter. And Henneman has blown the save. Clutch situation for Braggs. Let's see, where are you? He loses a hit on 2-11. 5-8, and that's a strikeout for Henneman, but that's 1 batter too late. And so now we are going to the bottom of the 9th. Score tied at 3. And now I got to get the Tigers line up straight because I made those defensive changes. So So let's make sure we've got who we need to have here. We're going to have Whitaker. Evans is going to bat second. Then Gibson, Trammell, Herndon, Lemon, and then Sheridan and Brookins. Okay, so it's going to be Whitaker, Evans, and Gibson. So aren't bad. That's not a bad threesome to have there. Whitaker, Evans, and Gibson for the Tigers to try to reclaim this victory. Whitaker is 1 for 3 with a double. And now the computer is telling me, oh, I got to make a move at second base. Hold on. Forgot to do that. We're actually going to put Jim Paciorek at third base and move Gantner to second. So let me do that defensively real quick. Tidy this up a bit. All right, so Gantner will move from third base to second base. And coming in to play third base is going to be Paciorek. He's the third baseman. So Paciorek will play third base. He's not very good either, but they don't have any choice. So let's get Paciorek's card. See what he's got going here for his ratings. Paciorek. 4E37 is what he is. So Paciorek is a 4E37 at third base. And let's put him in the proper spot in the order. And that's that. All right, now we're ready to go. Mark Clear. Facing the top of the order, Whitaker, then Evans, and then Gibson. So now that's in place on the computer, we're ready to go. Bottom of the ninth, tied at 3. Lou Whitaker. 1-6 for Whitaker. He's going to fly to center. 1 away. And now for the first time at the plate is Darrell Evans at first base. Evans on the real season was a .257 hitter with 34 home runs. Chance to walk it off with a long one right here. On the replay, .278 with 15 home runs. 1-9, and he's going to draw a base on balls. So he is the winning run. Doesn't run well, but they don't have anybody else play first base, so you kind of have to be stuck with him. They really could have used Bergman at that point, but oh well, not there. So here's Gibson. Gibson says, I'll crack a home run and not have to worry about it. 3-9. No, he's going to strike out is what he's going to do, and that's 2 down. 1 batter or 1 out away, rather, from extra innings. But Alan Trammell is your batter. If you're the Tigers, that's the guy you want up there. He's 1 for 3. He's hitting .429 on the replay. 6-7. Ground ball shortstop X Swain is a 3E25 at shortstop. 3E25 at the shortstop position. 3 and 8. Should get to that. 3 and 8 he does. He wasn't holding anybody on, so the pound sign's irrelevant. 13, and he is an E25. There's a 13 right there, so it's an error on Swain. A 1 base error on Dale Swain will keep the inning going. E6. That is the first error on either team. And that passes it on to Herndon, but Herndon will be called back. They will see if they've got a left-hander on the bench that they can use, and they do. Johnny Grubb. Although Herndon might be just as well. Although, well, man, I'm going to leave Herndon in there. He's better than Grubb. I'm not going to take Herndon out. So Herndon will have to swing it against right-handers. That's all. He's 0 for 2 with 2 walks. Clutch situation for Herndon, and he's neutral in the clutch against right-handers. So clear to Herndon. 4-9, and that's another walk. It's going to load the bases. Bases are now loaded with 2 outs, and it's up to you-know-who, Chet Lemon. And I think we may have to pinch hit for Lemon. He's just awful. So Lemon 0 for 4 on the day. We're going to pinch hit for Lemon. I know Grub's not the best in the world, but he's better than Lemon. So Lemon's coming out of there. In this kind of a situation, they're going with the best hitter they have left on the bench. Actually, they have Matt Noakes. I forgot about him. Matt Noakes is going to hit. And they'll worry about the defense after this. So Matt Noakes is going to pick up a bat and hit. He will pinch hit here in the 9th inning. Matt Noakes for Lemon. So Noakes it is. We'll bring in Noakes on the computer. I know he's on the roster. So at least Grubb and Whale Wander are the only two left on the bench. And Grubb will probably figure in the outfield somewhere. So Noakes on the real season hit 289 with 32 home runs. On the replays, hitting 272 with 16 home runs. So Noakes in the clutch, and in the clutch for Noakes, he loses a hit on 3-5. Loses also hits on 2-6 and 2-7, so they're hoping that the anti-clutch won't hurt him. 2-5, and that's going to do it. Matt Noakes is going to walk it off. A RBI single. It's 2 stars, but once the first run scores, that's it. There's your ball game. Evans crosses the plate. Matt Noakes a pinch hit single to walk it off. Mr. Clear takes the loss. Mr. Henneman takes the win. And the Tigers get that much-needed victory to close the gap. And Mr. Noakes finishes it off with the pinch hit single. We'll go to the box score. Get the totals. Get you ready for tomorrow's game. Henneman went 2/3 of an inning. Oops, 2/3 of an inning. He is now 3-3 on the replay. 2/3 of an inning, a hit, nothing else with a strikeout to get the win. The loss is Clear. He now drops to 2-3. Clear goes 1 inning, gives up 1 hit, 1 run, which was unearned. Remember that error? That error by Swain opened the door. That should have been the end of the inning, but that error made it possible. And then 2 walks and 2 strikeouts. So the walks got him as well. For the Tigers, 4 runs, 8 hits, and no errors. For the Brewers, 3 runs, 7 hits, and 1 error. Tigers improved to 32-22. Milwaukee drops to 35-18. Tigers 3.5 games back in the division now. They're still trail the Yankees and the Blue Jays, but they're getting closer and trying to make it a real 4-team race. So they're a wild and woolly game there. Tigers left 11 runners on base. They should have won this game a lot easier than this, but they left 11 runners on base and still got away with it. Unfortunately for Jack Morris, he couldn't get that win. It went to Henneman in relief. Teddy Higuera off the hook for the loss, but that's small consolation. So tomorrow, we flip the page over and we go to Minnesota. It'll be the Kansas City Royals taking on the Minnesota Twins. It'll be Danny Jackson against Joe Niekro, the knuckleballer. It'll be game number, I got my totals off here. It's game number 388 on the replay from the Metrodome, Kansas City and Minnesota, as Minnesota and both these teams actually are chasing the Oakland A's. So that's going to do it from here. Look at the standings real quick in the American League East up to the second. Tigers now 32-22, or 3.5 games in back of Milwaukee. They're 2 games back of the Yankees and 2.5 back of the Toronto Blue Jays. In the real season, Detroit was 29-25 at this point, so they're actually 3 games better than what they were in real world at this point. Just the Brewers are 6 games better than what they were. That's where the discrepancy is. Toronto's right where they should be, 35-20. That's exactly where they were in real world. Yankees are 36-22. They were 35-23 in the real season. So Minnesota will be coming to this game 28-28. And Kansas City will come into the game 26-28. is a jockey for position in the American League West. Oakland leads the division at 32-23. 4-game lead over California, 4.5 over Minnesota. So that's going to do it from here. Hope you all enjoyed that presentation of Strat-O-Matic 1987. Probably do something tonight with the either this afternoon or tonight with the Demolition League. Second day games on all of those, where we start using rest rolls and injuries and all that stuff. And I make my own lineups instead of going with the actual lineup real world. So it gets to be a little bit more fun once we get past opening day. So that's going to do it from here. Tigers win. Tabby's happy. And Sparky Anderson is happy. And so is Jack Morris. He got pulled off the hook. He could have possibly been the loser in this game, but Henneman bailed him out he didn't bail him out, I should say. He kept that third run from scoring. He did blow the save, so can't say Henneman bailed him out totally. Blew the save and got the win for himself. It's called a vulture win. So he vultured Morris on that one. So anyway, that's good to do it from here. Hope you all have a great Tuesday, whatever you have planned. And until next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however choose to play it, and I will see you all down the road.